What's up, everybody? And today we are checking out 7 Days of Hell, Captivity, Interrogations, Battles, the Special Operations Forces recruitment trials of Ukrainian soldiers. This is by United 24. I will leave a link down below to the OG video. It's basically their Hell Week. I got recommended this. I think Combat Arms channel reacted to it, and someone sent it to me and said, hey, check this out. It was really good. You should check it out as well. And so, yeah, I'm going to have a look at it. I'm going to see what it's all about, and I'm going to see what their version of Hell Week actually is. I'm also interested. This was a month ago, and I'm wondering, is this training ongoing now, considering the situation, or was this recorded before everything kicked off? That's a big question I have. If you want to watch the original video, like I said, it's down in the description below, like I always do. Links down below to all my other stuff as well. But other than that, let's shut up and let's see what this is all about.
Я вас вірю, хлопці. А там вже побачимо. Слава Україні! Героям слава! Щас пішов! Щас пішов! Давай!
Turn it down a little bit.
We select people very thoroughly and very simply.
You can even see by their eyes what a person is capable of.
It's true. It's true. Selection. Tough stage where both the power and the body candidates of the Ukrainian Special Operation. Holy. I was reading that quick as well.
This is the first little step on the path of growth for the future operator.
Okay.
This, so to speak, is one of the opportunities to join the ranks of the Special Operations Forces.
Oh, nasty.
In the first place, instructors need to select those people who are capable of working in more complex conditions. Only a weapon, equipment, and your backpack.
Right.
You might need to walk 30 or 50 kilometers. And selection shows who can get this job done.
Yeah. Classic. It looks like they've got like plastic AKs, have you noticed? For the training.
I have the best job in the world. You have to shower, shave, be neat, shoot, work on self-improvement, and get
That's British footage, that was an SA-80, did you see that?
paid for it.
I love my job. I love it, that's it. Yes, there are different tasks. Sometimes you have to assault enemy positions, and sometimes you need to do real soft stuff. You could be sent behind enemy lines to Russia. Check some things out. Do something. Show what you are capable of.
Yeah.
Our unique
You know, I don't envy them right now being out there with what's going on.
feature is that we perform tasks that others cannot.
In perspective, SOF is the most powerful unit that can exist in the entire Europe.
Well, I mean, in the entire of Europe. I don't know about that. Us Brits are pretty fucking good, I'll tell you that right now. Oh, they're naked. Oh no, they got underwear on. Oh, one guy's naked though. One guy's completely nude. Get in the organ. Just a bit of water, it's not that big of a deal.
Вийшла дівчинонька, рано вранці воду брать, а за нею козаченько, веде коня на поводь.
Oh, it's shaking.
Калина чорнявая дівчина, саду ягоди рвала, Маруся, раз, два, три, калина чорнявая дівчина, саду ягоди.
You gotta start off by getting in the organ. I feel like everyone does that in training. It's like a thing you gotta do. You just gotta get in the organ. Every time.
Відбір вимагає
The selection process itself requires a certain attitude from the instructors towards the candidates as well.
Yeah.
As an instructor conducting selection, you don't have the right to buddy up with the candidate or make any concessions to them.
Yeah. Boxing.
Before they step into the ring, the guys also get a bit of a workout to make them a little tired, so they could show us that even after the exercises.
You got to get a bit of fighting involved, aren't you? We did a lot of grappling in the Royal Marines. Grappling is rough, isn't it? Like, you just tires you out like crazy. We did a bit of boxing here and there, but mostly grappling.
They can still box and prove that they are capable of something.
Nice. Get off the ground.
по людям видно.
You can really see it in people. It's very evident how motivated they are. They're candidates.
I think there's probably a little bit more motivation right now considering the situation. If I'm pretty sure this was ongoing, because this was only filmed a month ago and the war's been going on for a couple of years now. So my presumption is this was filmed during the war, right? And if it was, the motivation is probably through the roof right now.
With strong characters, and they're those who, as they say, came here by accident. You can even see it in their eyes, what a person is capable of.
One thing I was always really good at in the Royal Marines is when they do stuff like this, I just black it out. I just like cancel it out, and I'm really good. That was one thing I was always really good at. When it was always really stimulating, I was very good at like having tunnel vision. That's like one of the things I was really good at in a lot of it. Well, it was usually we were doing stuff like that. It was usually in the field, when we were in the field in training, like when they're absolutely hammering you and beasting you. I was never the fittest person by any means. Like, I was always in the mid of the troop, or if not, a bit further back from the mid, depending on what the day was like. But when it comes to like absolutely, you know, I remember like I think I've told the story before, but when they woke us up at like, I mean, they do it all the time, but this particular time they woke us up at like stupid o'clock in the morning, like 1 a.m, no sleep, absolutely horrific, and they're thrashing us in a river. And I was just tunnel vision. I ended up starting laughing, and they all started. The training team was like, "Jillings is laughing. He finds this funny," and then they just hammered us even more.
Another difficulty is that they cannot sleep for more than 4 hours a day. The hardest part is to perform exercises while being exhausted. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Та ні, ви вже все сказали, як це все? Все, вже сказали все, значить все. Браво, браво. Не крутіть колоду. Лягли. Бережно. Не спішіть.
Цей відбір, він унікальний в тому.
The selection is unique because everything here is voluntary. People aren't forced to do anything. Accordingly, the person chooses this path themselves. So we only suggest that they do things.
Right.
Gentlemen candidates, pick up that log. If a candidate doesn't want to do it, if they refuse, no one wastes their time.
Yeah. And it looks like they do the classic ring the bell type of thing as well, which is obviously taken from the SEALs.
Person who gives up goes and hits the bell.
Yeah. Or maybe it wasn't taken from the SEALs. I don't know if the SEALs got it from somewhere else.
Буває таке, що
It happens that we come across mentally strong candidate, but physically their body cannot handle it.
Якщо би у вас було все нормально, болю би не було.
для нього це
For them, it's so difficult to go and hit the bell that they would rather collapse, roughly speaking, that
Yeah.
hit the bell and give up.
Yeah, that happens in the Royal Marines training as well. You get to a certain point in training where you guarantee people are just not going to give up. It's usually around bottom field pass out week 23 out of 32. Once you get past that, it seems like the majority of the people are there. The only reason they're really going to drop out is because of injury or failing a test and getting back trooped. That's usually around that point. It's very rare that someone quits just because they want to quit. You get the people who are like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. It's not usually like, I can't do this anymore. It's usually, I'm not sure if I want to do this anymore. But yeah, most people who leave at that point is through injury.
На фазі оцінки та відбору
At the evaluation and selection phase, various types of loads are applied to the candidates, such as physical loads, mental loads, endurance tests.
Yeah.
Psychological pressure is included in such loads. In our candidates, we assess self-control, self-regulation, and psychological resilience under conditions of forced isolation.
Not a vibe, that stuff, is it? It's not fun.
Все, хорошо. Шановні кандидати, дякую за увагу. Ви всі витримали це випробування.
Obviously, they're blurring out the faces for obvious reasons, right? It's super interesting watching different people's training and like comparing it to the Royal Marines, right? Like, because I can see like certain things that we did and what we didn't do and stuff like that, and it makes me wonder why we didn't do stuff or why these are not doing certain stuff that we did. I love comparing different training programs, especially because the Royal Marines are considered some of the best in the world, right? And so when you watch it compared to like special forces, which are the best in the world, no matter what country they're from, special forces are the best in the world, right? We can all agree on that. And it's super interesting to see their training specifically because they are so good. And I think it comes down to a lot to the individual more than the training itself, personally. But that's my opinion.
Приходить ДБРК. Ну,
I have a new order. Our plane or helicopter crashed. Your task, to deliver the pilots to a certain square within a certain time.
Yeah.
друга фаза.
The second phase is the transportation of cargo in plastic cans.
Ви знаходитесь на ворожій території. Завдання групи доставити пальне та БК.
Oh, and then yeah. Oh, that's nasty. That's nasty. Oh, fireman's carry as well. We've done tests with all that stuff. It's just horrific. Absolutely horrific. See, this stuff gets me more than like the psychological stuff, I feel like.
Блін, забув спитати. Хто хоче здатись?
23-400. Скажем так, недільний день.
Let's say Sunday is the toughest day. It's a 30-kilometer march in full gear.
Yeah. How fast? 30 kilometers in miles? Let me check real quick. 30 in miles. 18.6 miles.
Це теж треба вміти.
You also need to know how to march, even how you place your foot, how
Yeah.
you use your backpack,
Backpack's the big one.
straps, the waist belt.
Like where you put the weight in your backpack's really, really important. You got to remember we do the 30 miler at the end of training, right? And we have a weighted backpack on. Well, it's not so much like a Bergen like that, although we have done what we call yomping at that distance or more with a backpack like that. But when we do the 30 miler, it's more of a day sack. But it's still heavy. You've still got webbing on and all that stuff. And yeah, it's all about preparation, right? And where you distribute the weight in your backpack is incredibly important. Like you put the heavy stuff up top, and it puts more load on your shoulders more than pulling it down in your lower back. And the way that you strap certain things, and the way that you maintain yourself as well is very, very important.
You also need to know these things.
But yeah, it's not fun. $18 miles is not good. It's not a vibe, is it?
Красиві всі такі, хромаючі, блін, аж. Ну що, тігри? Я вас вітаю в силах спеціальних операцій. Мінімально ви зробили,
You've done the minimum.
але я впевнений, що це не саме важке, що ваше.
Із проходження можете зняти манішки, взяти зброю і перейти на наступну фазу.
Дякую тобі, Манішечка. Q-курс – це не тільки
The
селекція.
Q course is not just about selection. It's a whole complex of measures aimed at preparing a person who, after completing several more stages of training,
Yeah.
will become an operator in the chosen direction.
Yeah, I tell you what though, when you finish training and you get that reward that training is over, like I've never felt anything like it before, ever. It's unbelievable. When I finished that 30 miler and I was handed my green beret, there was honestly nothing like it. I'll tell you that right now. That's really cool. At the end of the video, there's a little bit of footage here at the end as well.
Чуєте звук? Вертушка летить. Авіація.
Helicopters flying. Get down, yeah.
Постріл! Є попадання! Наші сослуживці далеко? Нам щоб понімати хоч маршрут.
А ви їх бачите?
Поки ні.
І я їх не бачу.
Я вас розумію, пане Жуку. Давай сюди.
17-й, ви хотіли автомат?
Do you want a rifle? Look at the size of that.
68-й.
That's one thing that people don't realize is you do have there's a little bit of comedy in training as well. There is in the Royal Marines training anyway. There's a little bit of comedy in the Royal Marines training, and that's why you do get the cheerfulness in the face of adversity. One of the commando ethos is there is that little bit of like there'll be quite a bit of laughs going on in training, but there's like a little bit of underlining comedy in the majority of things that you do. Great video, super interesting. I've not watched anything about Ukrainian Special Forces, so that's a really, really interesting video. Absolutely loved that. Obviously, they're not going to show you the rest of training. They're just going to show you what is the hell week of it, aren't they? And so, yeah, really, really like that video. It'll be linked down below if you want to watch the original video without me waffling over the top. Other than that, that's it. I'll see you next week. Let me know if you want me to get back gaming on the channel. That's it, guys. Until next time, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.